Hi, my name is Bo Harris. This is my first video for the Strategic Communication 220 class. Let me tell you. So, this is our first video to talk about what jobs we chose, our career path that we chose, and why we chose it. And mine is mechanic, specifically diesel mechanic. I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about the beginning of the vehicle, per se. So, the first vehicle was created by Carl Benz in the year 1885-86. January 29th, 1886, he applied for a patent for the first vehicle powered by a gasoline engine. It was a one cylinder, two-stroke engine, and it ran for the first time on New Year's Eve, 1879. Since all this time, we've progressed and made vehicles better and better, and the demand for vehicles is always going to be there as we further in the process of mechanics, per se. So, like I said, my name is Bo Harris. I'm 35 years old. I did not grow up in a mechanical background at all. It was something that was developed through time, and I first started to find interest in vehicles when I had friends that were into the lowrider scene, or car scene, as you would call it, or whatever. Had my first truck, and we cut it up, put cool wheels on it, sound system. Realistically, all I did in the long run was break a dependable vehicle because I had no clue what I was doing. So through the years of breaking vehicles, if you would, I've developed skills for the most part about being a better mechanic, if you would call it. So I went into the Army in the year 2011. I didn't know what I wanted to be in the Army, so I was told there was a poster on the wall of this truck, and I'd never seen it before. It's called a Striker, and it was a new MOS at that time. So he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, blah 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 blah. You'll definitely rank up fast. It's a great job. It'll communicate well outside into the civilian world." So I was like, "Sign me up." Through the years that I worked in the Army as a mechanic, I found that the vehicle itself was an electrical nightmare. So troubleshooting, schematics, wiring diagrams, and such. They had wires everywhere in these vehicles, and not a lot of coverage. So there was always things breaking. The problem that I had with the Army was they had contracts through the Caterpillar engines, and General Dynamics was contracted through the shell of the vehicle. So we weren't really allowed to fix, we were only allowed to replace parts. And that is why, in the long run, I went to wanting to become more of a diesel mechanic, because I want to know why it broke, how to fix it, what is the symptom of it, etc., etc. So I moved towards diesel because there is a huge industry fleet of vehicles. So, everything from school buses that take your kids back and forth, city buses, tow trucks when your cars break down, semis for our food and natural goods that we need to go from one side of the world or the United States to the other, or construction vehicles to get houses and roads and everything that we need. And these are all powered by diesel engines. So that's something that has intrigued me, that it is to continue in the diesel field. Um, so for the last part that I have, we have theoretical concepts in the workplace. Some theoretical concepts that I found would be like a behaviors that we need to have for this job field is a professional attitude. Um, you don't want to have some guy coming in and going, "Yeah, I think I fixed it." No, you want to have your vehicle fixed when you send it there. Your work style, they like guys who are really fast on the job. You know what you're doing. You don't want an amateur breaking it worse than it is before. You have your dress and appearance is important. It's usually a casual, but depending on who you go to, you will have to have a uniform usually to show professionalism. Your atmosphere is a fast-paced atmosphere, and communication is key in this job, because the last thing you need to do is stop a job and someone else walk up and you go, "What'd you do?" "I don't know." So some of those are some of my concepts that I had found through being a mechanic and a diesel mechanic. So again, my name is Bo Harris. I've expressed how being a mechanic is something that I chose to do in my life, and thank you for listening.